Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of our civil litigation mock trial course by the Dear Core Daniel School of Law. And on today's episode, we will be discussing draft of notice of intention to defend. Draft of notice of intention to defend. This is one of the quintessential drafts that you are going to have for summary judgment and undefended list, right? Which is our module 6. Right, one of the very quintessential drafting. How do you draft a notice of intention to defend? Don't forget that when we are talking about notice of intention to defend, we are talking about Order 35 of the Abuja Rules, right? We are talking about the undefended list. What are the documents that you are supposed to carry? If you are the claimant, saying that you know that the defendant does not have a case and all that, you are supposed to have your writ of summons. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you are now supposed to file an affidavit disclosing the grounds upon which the claim is based. That's number one. And number two, stating that is the deponent is stating that he knows, he believes that the defendant does not have a defense to this action. And then additionally, you now file your pre-action counseling certificate, right, from 6. That's from 06, right? Now, when that has been served, right, the other party has within how many days before hearing? You know, the matter is set for hearing. The matter is not set for mention. The matter is set for what? For hearing. And then the other party has 5 days before hearing to file what is known as a notice of intention to defend. Don't forget that the matter is also not put on the general cause list. The matter is put on the undefended lists, right? The matter is put on what? On the undefended list. Then, when the other party comes, that is when the court will now hear his own case, not to determine if he has a defense, so to say, and know whether or not his defense has merit, but to determine on the face of it whether or not there is a prima facie defense, such that the court now ought to listen to the case on its merits. So at this stage, the court is not listening to the case on its merits. The court is just merely looking at the document that the defendant files, and the court wants to determine whether there is a case on the face of it, prima facie case. Do you understand that? However, what is quintessential to this class is that particular document that the defendant ought to file when the defendant wants to defend a matter that has been put on the undefended list is what? Is the notice of intention to defend. How do we draft it? Now, do not forget that when we're speaking in the Memorandum of Appearance class, we talked about the fact that you are supposed to file your Memorandum of Appearance in Lagos within 42 days, in Abuja within 14 days. Now, there is no equivalent of the notice of intention to defend that is under the undefended list in Lagos, because Lagos doesn't have undefended list. What Lagos have is the summary judgment procedure under 13, which also exists in Abuja under Order 11. But there is another special type of summary judgment, which is the undefended list, but there is no equivalent of that in Lagos. Therefore, you don't have the undefended list or notice of intention to defend filed in Lagos. Do you understand that? So, little wonder if you look at the heading of the court here, you would see in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, right? In the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In the Abuja Judicial Division, holding at Abuja, then you then see suit number. I told you several times that you see this description, it is important. Now, one of my early days of drafting at law school, I didn't know that when you write in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, you are supposed to put comma and put Abuja. I didn't know that. So I usually just say in the Federal Capital Territory, that is in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, and then in the Abuja Judicial Division, holding at Abuja. No. Please, after you're in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, put comma and put Abuja. Do you understand that? Put comma and put what? Abuja. In the Abuja Judicial Division, holding at Abuja. Suit number, then between your claimant and your defendant. Very important. Know your parties. You see why parties class is the most important class. In short, it's like I would tell you that 70%, right? Because there is nothing that you are drafting in civil litigation, right, that you would not have to use parties and understand the knowledge of parties. This almost everything that you are drafting, every court process. If you file the wrong party, you are going to have an issue. Do you understand? So the knowledge of the party section is really, really very important. Do you understand? The knowledge of that party is very, very important. So you have your party, your claimant, your defendant. Now, when we're talking about memorandum of appearance, I told you that what you just write there is what? Memorandum of appearance. If it is an unconditional appearance. But if it's a conditional appearance, what you should write there is what? Conditional memorandum of appearance. Right? Then what do you write after that? Please enter appearance for so and so person sued as the defendant in this action. However, when we are talking about notice of intention to defend, what you see here is take notice, just like emotion. Emotion will tell you, take notice that this honorable court will be moved on the dash day of dash 20 dash, right, at the hour of 9 o'clock in the forenoon or so soon thereafter, as counsel for the claimant applicant may be heard praying this court for the following release. Now, I just said that, from my head. That's to show you how you ought to know that part of motion. You will know it. It's from the head, right? So the same thing happens for notice of intention to defend. You have take notice that the defendant intends to defend this action and shall be relying on the affidavit in support. Now, what's the difference between memorandum of appearance here and notice of intention to defend? Under the notice of intention to defend, you are stating there that you intend to defend this action. Now, you are not writing the name of the defendant as you will find in your memorandum of appearance. So what you just write is take notice that the defendant intends to defend this action. Now, in your memorandum of appearance, please enter appearance for so person sued as the defendant in this case or in this action. Enter appearance for so person sued as the defendant in this action. But in notice of intention to defend now, it now tells you that take notice that the defendant intends to defend this action. So you can see two of them. This one, in one, you are entering appearance. You are telling them, please enter appearance for so person, right? Enter appearance for so person sued as the defendant in this action. Here, you are like begging under the memorandum of appearance. You are like begging. I say, please enter appearance for so person sued as the defendant. But in a notice of intention to defend, you are not begging. You are telling them, yes, take notice that the defendant, right, intends to defend. Take notice that the defendant intends to defend and shall be relying on the affidavit in support. Do you see the difference in the tone and mannerism? For memorandum of appearance is more like you were pleading. Please enter appearance for so person sued as the defendant in this action. It's like, please enter appearance. You are begging, please enter appearance. But under notice of intention to defend, take notice that the defendant intends to defend this action and shall be relying on the affidavit in support. Now, notice that the word they use there is action, not case. It's action, not matter. Notice that they didn't say that, please enter appearance for so and so person sued as defendant in this matter or sued as defendant in this case. Is sued as the defendant in this action. Take notice that the defendant in this action. Do you understand? So take notice that the defendant intends to defend this action and shall be relying on the affidavit in support. So, look at those discrepancies, right? Especially that part that says shall be relying on the affidavit in support. It's very, very important. Very, very important. Please don't forget that when you are drafting your memorandum of appearance. Please don't forget that when you are drafting your notice of intention to defend. And as usual, you know what to do. You are supposed to have your name, your firm's name, then as defendant counsel or as claimant counsel, one of both, as defendant counsel or as claimant counsel. Then after that, you now have the address of your law firm. Then after that, you have your email. Then after that, you have your phone number. That is how we're supposed to go. So you are supposed to have your name, the name of your law firm, then your designation. Are you the claimant counsel or the defendant counsel? And then the address of your law firm, and then your email, and then your phone number. And don't forget that you are supposed to serve. For law school, for service on is very, very important, because when the bailiff sees that now, your process, that's either your memorandum of appearance or your notice of intention to defend, where would the bailiff go to serve? The bailiff doesn't know. So you have not actually filed a valid process if you don't put for service on and then write the name of the people or the person that you want to serve. Do you understand? For law school, they will provide the name for you and the address. If they don't provide it, fabricate one. For law school, they will provide it in the question. But if you see that it is not there and they told you to draft something that will require you to write for service on and all that, that will require you to serve, then make sure that you fabricate one. Just write any name there. Make sure it's not your lecturer's name and it's not your name, right? Write any name there and write any law firm. Just fabricate anything. Just make sure that those places are filled up with details that are relevant. Do you understand what I mean? And that's exactly how we draft a notice of intention to defend under the undefended list, Order 35 of the Abuja Rules. I hope you have enjoyed our class for today. I will see you in other drafting classes. Have a very beautiful day.